Hi, I'm Stephanie Laska. I lost 140 pounds and created Dirty Lazy Keto. Thanks for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy the show. So I want to talk about how to overcome anxiety about starting a new diet. So how to overcome that anxiety when you're starting something new, like a diet, like keto, restarting, starting, a lot of feelings going on, I bet. You're not alone, okay? Let's just clear that up. I feel like this is a really good topic, don't you? Are you excited about it? Because I am. I know it affects me, it affects my family, and it affects everyone. We feel anxiety. I don't even think I knew a word for anxiety coming up. It was like, get over it. That's what I was taught. But now we're more aware and we're more willing to discuss our feelings. And I think that's an important part of our journey, especially when we're trying to lose weight. So if you're excited about this topic, pretty please give this a thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Just one. That way I know that you're tracking and it's interesting to you. I like to get your feedback. I like to get your suggestions and ideas because then I'm providing something that might be a meaningful conversation for you to have. And that's what this is all about. I mean, I know when I was first trying to lose weight, way back when, I swear, it's almost a decade ago. Can you believe that? It's hard to believe for me. Here I am. Almost 300 pounds, wearing size 24, 26. And for me, just the idea of going on a diet or restarting or starting any kind of program, it just really put me into a tailspin. I was terrified that it wouldn't work. I was terrified of failure, of embarrassing myself, of embarrassing everyone. And so when I first started this lifestyle, the one that I created here, Dirty Lazy Keto, I didn't tell anyone. I was like, no, thank you. Like, I did not tell anyone anything. I pretended, and that was on purpose because I was scared. So whatever reason you're feeling anxiety right now, it doesn't have to be the same reason I felt that anxiety, but whatever is causing you that anxiety about starting a new diet or restarting, I want today's podcast to give you some actual tips to help you move forward so you didn't have to hide in the bathroom like I was doing while weighing myself, not wanting anyone to look. I didn't even want people to know in my family that I had a scale in my bathroom. I would hide it. I know. So I don't want you to feel that anxiety. I want to give you some actual tools to get you going so that you can move past this, right? Or at least learn how to manage it. So step one, here we go. I'm going to get right to it today. Step one is I want you to call out anxiety. Call it out when you see it. So if you see it, call it out. For me, this has been challenging because like I was telling you earlier, I didn't really grow up having a good vocabulary about my feelings. And especially when it came to food, I ate a lot of my feelings. So naming anxiety for me was something I had to learn. And I think that anxiety takes on a lot of shapes and forms. And it's different for different people, right? It's not going to be the same for you as it is for someone else. So you're going to have to really reflect on what anxiety looks like to you and then call it out. So what I mean by that is, I get to sit in this chair and see thousands of people's experience with Dirty Lazy Keto. So for me, I've picked up on a few things like, oh, that's anxiety. That's anxiety. I can watch their journey and kind of put my finger on it. So maybe this will help you. I'll give you some examples. Here's one I hear all the time. This is it. They go, yeah, I'm going to start Monday, right? I'm going to start Monday or the first of the month or whatever. They have their calendar and they're like, oh yeah, this is what's happening for me. Now, when I hear that, I'm thinking, this is what I want to yell out. Beware, beware. I want to yell to that person, beware. That's just your anxiety talking. I want to tell them that. Sometimes it's hard though, because it's like, I just met you. It's hard to say that out loud. Another one I hear quite a bit, tell me if this one sounds familiar, is, oh, I'm going to start after my vacation, my anniversary, my special cruise my family reunion, my blah, 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 my anniversary, my party, my yada, 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 right? Anyone? For me, that is another example of beware. Because I feel like that's really just your anxiety talking. That is what I see. I don't know if you see that, but consider that from my perspective. Tell me how anxiety looks to you. Because a lot of folks are going to tell me, I have to wait until after the holidays. I can't miss out on my family this, my family that, my routines, my parties. Or they're going to say they have that trip coming up, right? We mentioned the cruise, but maybe it's Disney. You paid a lot of money. You can't miss out on all that food or all that amusement park experience once in a lifetime. Tell me if any of these things are ringing true to you. Because we have to find what anxiety looks like in your life. Another one I hear quite often is the meal prep. I think people overthink it. They overcomplicate the whole weight loss experience. And for what I'm hearing them say, oh, I have to meal prep everything. You know, I gotta go to the store. I gotta buy all this stuff. I gotta chop it all up. I gotta, make Tupperwares. I gotta do like I see on Pinterest with those little bento boxes and the little containers. And I go, blah, 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 right? Okay, are you starting to hear it too? When you hear that, a little bell should go off. Go. You like the bell? Here it is. Beware from where I'm sitting, and hopefully from where you're sitting, you're starting to recognize that that is just anxiety talking. It's really not real. Like, really? Do you really have to do that? There's a few more. I'll keep going because, I think it can be helpful. At least it is for me. People will say, this is very common. They'll go, oh, I have to go buy all the keto stuff. Then I can start or I can restart. I have to have my keto cereal. I've got to have my keto bread. I've got to go buy keto crackers. I've got to go buy keto chips. I got to buy keto sweetener, keto this, keto that, keto yogurt. Okay. Ready? Do you see the beware? That's just anxiety talking. All of that kind of stress and unnecessary pressure on yourself is really just more about your emotional state and less about something that's true. Are these helpful? I think they're. What does it look like to you? Tell me in the comments, okay? Because I'm going to share two more before moving on. And I don't want to skip one. So if you have one that you want to share, that might fill in the void. Because I can't say them all. Another one that's pretty common is people will say the money. They'll go, well, I have all these high carb foods. I just went to the grocery store. My whole cabinet is full of stuff. I'm showing you a Frosted Flakes box. And you're like, do you know how much cereal costs? I paid $8 for that thing. Hey, I get it. Food is expensive, especially nowadays. But does that mean you can't start, quote unquote, or you can't restart just because you have some Frosted Flakes in your cabinet? Not necessarily, right? Chuck that aside. But all in all, people come up with all sorts of interesting things to try to protect themselves. And, one last one I'm going to share in case one of you guys didn't share it already. This one's really, really common as well. They'll say, I have to learn everything first. I have to learn everything. I got to order all the books. They're like, okay, I'm going to get Stephanie's Dirty Lazy Keto Get Started book. That's the guidebook, so I'm going to get that first. Oh, and then I can't start, though, until I get all of her cookbooks. I'm going to get the Dirty Lazy Keto 5-ingredient cookbook. I'm going to get the No Time to Cook cookbook. Oh, and I'm on hold at the library so I can get the Dirt Cheap cookbook. Oh, and then my friend is going to let me borrow the original Dirty Lazy Keto cookbook. And then I'm going to get all the books, and then I'm going to study them all weekend, and then I'm going to start Monday. Have you heard that one too? That happens a lot. Now, okay, calm down. If you are going to read a book, read the first one, or at least just get a copy from your local library, get it on Amazon so you know, a reference of where to go when you have questions. But these are things, again, that you might want to be aware of. All those kind of ramblings and ruminations and stress and comments that you're sharing, keep in mind that those are things to be aware of. It may not be factual at all. It might just be some kind of anxiety talking. So putting a name to it, I think, allows you to move on to step 2. So that was step 1, learning to identify, calling it out, seeing it for what it is. That's so annoying. But calling out the anxiety for what it is and trying to separate what could be fact and what could actually be fiction. So once you got that down, you've labeled it, you've pointed at yourself, had a little laugh, had a little sad. It's okay. But then move on to step 2. And step 2, to help you overcome your anxiety when you're starting a new diet, is to not let the emotion, that stress, that anxiety, that nervousness, not to let that stall you from taking action. Okay? This is what it's really doing. When you're experiencing, can you see my gold jacket? When you're experiencing It's an over the head thing, so I'm going to try to be creative. There we go. Fancy. But when you're experiencing all that anxiety and you're telling yourself all these things, really you're trying to protect yourself, right? And that makes sense. In the past, if you're like me, growing up, I was on Weight Watchers, I was on this diet, that diet, the grapefruit, the counting calories, all these things my mom and my grandmother had me doing. So I come with baggage, right? So it makes sense that my brain and my heart is scared or afraid or worried or looking at the bad track record. So I come up with these anxiety-filled notions to try to tell myself not to continue right away or not to start right away because I'm trying to protect myself because I know it might be painful, it might be hard, it might be scary. So is that going to work? Can we just wrap ourselves up in bubble wrap or, in gold or metal in a cage and just pretend nothing's out there happening? Because it's been my experience that when you come up with all these anxiety-filled notions, it can really cause paralysis. And then people get stuck in that notion of like having to meal prep 10,000 meals, having to read 10,000 books, having to fill or get rid of every single high-carb food in the house. They go through the whole list of anxiety-filled notions and worries, and they let that stop them, and then they're frozen, hoping it'll protect them. So step 2 is to not let that stall you from taking action, okay? So I want you to peel them off, recognize that they're just trying to protect you, like say thank you. Thank you, anxiety. You were just trying to help. I'm not mad, but thank you. You were just trying to do me a solid. I get it. So acknowledge what they were doing, acknowledge that they were trying to help you, but then move forward, okay? I want you to feel the feelings of anxiety. Feel them. Very uncomfortable, very awkward. It's very, very, very uncomfortable. And this is where everybody wants to just postpone or make plans and push it away or, put it to next Monday, next week, next month, right? But it's not going to go away unless we just feel the feelings. And it's going to be weird. So just give it a second and feel what that's like. How did it feel? You're like, what? But here's the thing. It's supposed to feel uncomfortable. That is a secret. And I didn't realize this. And that's what I want to make sure that I'm coming across to you. I thought something was wrong with me that I felt that way. I thought they were legit feelings that I should listen to. But the truth is, if you talk to really successful people who have accomplished a lot, gone on to do brave things, who have felt those same feelings, but somehow ended up achieving their goals anyway, here's the thing about those people. They felt the same way as you did. They totally did. They went through those same feelings. And I didn't know that. I thought it was just me. I thought I was alone. I thought something was wrong with me. I thought I wasn't good enough or wouldn't be able to. And I was like buying into the truth of all those feelings. But real successful people, they feel those feelings. Then they separate fact from fiction and go, okay, I'm just going to feel the nervousness. And then they move forward and they start taking action. So did you catch that? Successful people, they recognize the facts and they recognize the feelings. They separate out the two. They don't let the feelings paralyze them. They look at them, okay, that's just, All right, let's look at this one at a time. For example, remember that excuse about starting Monday? Let's see here. Remember that excuse about like waiting till after the vacation, until after the cruise or whatever, after the holidays? Now think about that. Is that factual? Is that a good idea? Should you wait, do you think, to make positive changes for your health until like a future date? Or would it be more factual to say it would be better to start now and right away? Do you see how that helps you? You're like, okay, yeah, whatever, Stephanie. She's calling me on it. It's true. Does it make any sense to you, like fact from fiction, to burn through all of your high-carb foods in your house? I know they're expensive, blah, blah, blah. But fact from fiction, is this a feeling that you have, just the nervousness, like the anxiety, or is this a real fact that you have to use up all your high-carb food first? I know. When you take a step back and you look at it logically, you can see that doesn't make any sense at all. You're like, Okay, yeah, I shouldn't probably eat a whole box of cereal just because it was $6 or $8. So separating out the facts from the fiction allows you to feel the feelings, as uncomfortable as they may be, but then move forward and start taking action. And that is really where we're going to head for step number 3. I know. Are you starting to get it? It's a little bit woo today. Sometimes I'm more like, here's a low-carb snack, eat this, not that. But today we're doing a little bit more woo-woo. Okay, and that's on purpose. And I hope that you're participating right now. I hope that you're giving in some examples maybe, because the more that we share and get involved here, the more we can learn from one another and grow. Because we're a community, right? We're in this together. So before I move on to step 3, I'm going to position my wheel because it's going to be part of step 3. You'll like it, I promise. And I'm going to reach in here because step number 3 is more than just step 3. Is it going the right way? I always think it's the right way, and then it's not. Okay, I'll hold it both ways just in case. You can tell me in the comments. But step 3 is about taking action, and I'm going to call this the 3-3-3 rule, okay? So it's a rule. So the 3-3-3 action. Okay, you're like, okay, what? Threes, there's rulers, what's happening? It's a 3-3-3 rule. So here's what I want you to do. Here's the part of the 3. It's going to go 1, 2, 3. Stay with me. I promise it's going to work. I want you to name 3 small actions that you can do right now. So what can you do right this second? Do you have an idea? Do you need an example? Let me show you a couple examples before we get to the spin. Can you drink a glass of water? Yes or no? Yes, you can. This is simple. It's a small, simple action. Think of 3 things you can do right now that is going to put you heading toward the right direction of starting your new diet, starting your new way of life. Give me a specific, concrete, immediate action that doesn't require you to go to the store, burn through your Frosted Flakes, call a friend, study a book, yada, yada, yada. Concrete steps. So that was one. What's another one? Put it in the comments because I'm going to hear some comments and then we're going to spin for a prize. What about cutting up some celery? Do you have any celery in your fridge? Zucchini? Do you have a can of olives you could open? What's a low-carb food, ideally even high fiber, that you can have as a snack right this second that you can cut up and put in a bowl? Don't overthink it. Okay, we're not starting next Monday, next Tuesday, next whatever. Right this second. You don't have to read a book. Drink some water. Can you do that? Can you have some celery? Okay, you don't like celery? Pick something else. Broccoli, cauliflower. What can you eat right now that's low carb, that's healthy for you, that's going to make you feel good? Put it in the comments. Can you take some action, right? I want you to do 3 things. So if you only have 1 so far, come up with some more. Maybe you've got some nuts in packages laying around the house. Can you get out some small Ziploc bags, or you can get out some Tupperware? Can you start dividing in portion control, putting in 1 portion of nuts in a snack size bag, and then put it in your purse or your backpack or your car or your desk? Put it in a drawer where you're going to be often when you're hungry. Where can you start planning ahead? Do it right now. Can you? Put it in the comments. And if it's not the nuts, what else could you put in a small little bag or in a small Tupperware and place it in important places? I want you to pick 3 things, and you're going to commit to it. So write it down now. You can write it 1 comment and then think about it. Or you can put 2. You can do 3. You can do more. But everybody put something. Because I want to hear the 3-3-3 rule, which is going to start with you choosing 3 small actions that you can do right now. And I promise this has to do with anxiety. It could be you're just boiling eggs. I wanted to give you a few more examples in case you were like, I can't think of anything. Maybe you're going to your freezer and just defrosting some meat. That counts. Do you like how my meat's on sale with double stickers? Yep. Are you starting to plan maybe breakfast? What can you have for breakfast? Do you have any sausage? Do you have any bacon? Do you have some eggs? Whatever meal you're at, start planning it right now and just do something. Not planning, I shouldn't say planning, but just get something out of the fridge and start prepping. Maybe it's middle of the afternoon. Do you have some of those vegetables and go directly in the microwave? Even if you're not hungry right now, cook it up now, put it in the fridge, set it aside. That way later, when you are ready for a snack, oh, I already have some spinach steamed up. I'll go ahead and have some chicken or some salmon or make some hamburgers and throw together a little side dish of spinach with feta cheese or spinach with butter. Delicious, right? So I want you to pick 3 things, 1, 2, 3, anything you got, and put in the comments of what you're going to do right now to help combat those feelings of like, oh, I got it. Something you can do right this second. Write 3 of them down. So when everyone's writing, I'm going to spin the wheel. Now comes the wheel. Because I'm going to pick some people from the comments. Okay, now, tomorrow, next week, I'll be checking. So if you're not here right this second, it's okay. But I'm going to be checking and picking some folks from the comments to win some prizes. And these are things that you're just participating with by commenting below. Oh, it's a big winner. I should be like this. Ooh, a different bell. Very exciting. It landed on a DLK book. So there's so many, right? I just showed you all the pictures. So many. So this will be a prize that I'm going to give away at random from folks in the comments. So you can even tell me which book it is that you're hoping to win. But just say something. Get involved here. The more you're committing, the more you're commenting, the more likely these things are actually going to happen. So think of it that way, because you're saying it out loud, you're committing. So that's the first part of the 3-3-3 rule. Remember, there's 3 threes. Step 3 is 3 parts. So that was the first part, is to do 3 small things. The second part is I want you to say 3 reasons, and you can do this in the comments, or if you're feeling like, okay, maybe I'm a little scared. That's okay. But name 3 reasons why you think you're worth it. I know. For some reason, it's easier to talk about boiling eggs, defrosting bacon, versus saying 3 reasons why you are worth making a change and starting a new way of eating, or restarting or recommitting to a new way of eating, to the keto diet. So tell me 3 reasons why you are worth it. Is it because of your health? Is it because you are fabulous? Is it because you are strong and important? Is it because people rely on you? Do you have a family that you're taking care of? Do you have grandchildren or children or a spouse that looks to you for guidance and you want to be a role model? I don't care. Whatever it is, put it in the comments. What are 3 reasons that are going to explain to you and motivate you later? Your blood pressure, your skin, your hormones, your fancy pants you want to wear, the dress, anything. But name 3 reasons why you are worth doing this. It can be as small or as big as you want it to be. Now, these are positive examples of self-talk, right? So be very mindful of what you're writing, because you want them to be 3 positive reasons that you are worth it. Really great things that you can tell yourself. I'm amazing. I'm healthy. I can do this. I'm strong. Tell me those 3 reasons, because you'll be visiting those back later. We're doing good? Now, there's a third part of the 3-3-3 ruler. She's like, now I get it. And the third part is to name 3 feelings that you're starting to have now. So now that you've done 3 items, we're committed, you're starting to do them, you're working around the house. Now that you've come up with 3 reasons why you're worth it, so you're moving along in the process, now sit back and kind of think, what are 3 feelings that you're having right this second? Again, with the feeling naming, I know it's like Brene Brown. You know, she has that new book out, or current book out. People don't know how to name their feelings, and oftentimes that leads us to overeat or get confused or think they're real. So we've got to name them. We've got to name them. So start by naming the 3 feelings that you're experiencing right now. Are you feeling proud of yourself? You're like, oh my gosh, I donated all the, high carb foods to my church. Or you're feeling like, maybe you're feeling really excited because you pulled out like a roast from the freezer and you didn't even know you had it. And you're putting it in the Instant Pot or putting something in the oven for dinner, heating up the grill. Whatever you're feeling, proud of yourself, positive. Are you feeling motivated a teensy tiny bit? Are you feeling nervous? Are you worried? How are you feeling? Are you feeling kind of silly, still listening to the podcast and thinking that you're already on a journey? Are you feeling kind of like, seriously? Are you questioning? Maybe you're unsure. Whatever you're feeling, if you're stressed that you're not doing enough, you're worried that you're going to fail, you're scared, you're hesitant, name those feelings and write them down. That can be in private, I understand, or in the comments below. But just know that it's okay to feel a mix of emotions. It's very normal. However, don't let these negative feelings, this is my sign that says Mean Girls, don't let those negative feelings trick you into somehow stopping this process. Because feeling the positive, the negative, the worries, the anxious, all that is part of this journey. It's part of the 3-3-3 journey. You took some steps, positive steps. You said some positive things to yourself, and now you're identifying how that's making you feel. I know I'm making it maybe more complicated than it needs to be, but sometimes we need to stop and slow down and spell these out one at a time. Because this is it. You're all, what? Say what? Did I miss it? I mean, this is exactly how you manage your anxiety in order to move forward and start a new process. You're all, wait, did I miss something? No, seriously though, if you're feeling like it should be more complicated, it's not. You know, anxiety is a part of our life. We inherited it from our personalities, right? From our circumstances, from our genetics. And then some of us were born and told, bah, 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 bah. So we have a lot of issues. That's how I am. From childhood and whatnot. But if we go through this process of the 3-3-3, we tell ourselves, hey, I can take some action, right? I mean, first, we separate the anxiety feelings, fact from fiction, right? We call it like it is. And then we tell ourselves, okay, I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm going to still go down that 3-3-3 path where I'm going to take 3 steps action, small, specific, immediate steps. I'm going to name 3 reasons why I'm worth it and remind myself for that. And then I'm going to name 3 feelings about how I'm doing while I'm processing all that. And then you just do it again. You're all, no, it's not that easy. Yes, it is that easy, I promise you. You just keep repeating that same cycle. You keep going and you keep doing it. Now, if you're really stuck on the whole concept of like, well, losing weight is so hard for me, it's so hard for me, it's so hard for me, I've got a whole nother video just on that, and I will link that up next after this one. So know that that's coming, if that's really something that's impeding you. But for the rest of you that are tracking and you're like, okay, I'm going to try this, even though it sounds really hokey. This is it. This is the path to overcoming that anxiety and learning to replace or to tamper down or to regain some control over these feelings and move forward by repeating them. Spin, spin, spin. It's really that easy. Now, what's interesting is that over time, your anxiety level, like I was mentioning, it's going to decrease, or you're going to learn tools to manage it, and you're going to feel more confident. I want to give you a specific example of what this might look like. This was a recent issue of Women's World magazine where Donna, one of our Dirty Lazy Keto success stories, she was age 65. Her story is shared in here. Age 65, Donna went from size 22 to size 12. Isn't that amazing? And it's right here. They quote her in this article. It's on page 25 if you have a copy of it. But this grandmother went from, on a Halloween night, some candy fell on the floor and she couldn't bend over to pick it up. She went from that state of mind to having the confidence to tell more about her journey and her weight loss experience with Dirty Lazy Keto in an international magazine. Amazing. So you can't tell me that anxiety wasn't there in the beginning, because it was. But it has been replaced. It has been toned. It has been managed in a way where she didn't let that stop her, and she is all the way now feeling more confident than ever before. So I hope that was helpful for you guys. It was a lot of fun putting that together. It helped me reflect as well. I just want to remind you that you're not alone. I'm here to support you. I have so many resources. This whole studio here is just packed full of books and reminders and newsletters. And I work tirelessly all weekend putting these things together for you. Podcasts, videos, notes, new books coming. I know. Can you see the new book in the corner? Way in the corner. It's over there. Lots of really exciting things coming toward you. I know. I'm like, ooh, now I have to show you, right? Now I have to hold it up. It's right over there. You see it? Extra Easy Keto. Do you see it? Oh, May of 2023. But you can order it now if you're on Amazon or Barnes & Noble. Really helps. But seriously, guys, my goal in life is to make this whole process extra easy for you. I want to support you along the way. I want to make sure that you have all the tools that you need, that you have that girlfriend that you can call, on YouTube or Facebook. You look me up and you read a recent blog I have on the website, or you read one of my newsletters. You watch a topic that's you're struggling with, and then I'm right there with you. It's like I'm your friend in your living room or on your iPad or on your iPhone. I want to be that person for you to support you on your journey, because DLK works. Dirty Lazy Keto works. It's flexible. It's easy to do for the long haul. And weight loss transformation is just waiting for you to get started. So I believe in you. I'm going to give you a huge round of applause. Give yourself a round of applause and get started with your tricks and tips. Yes, 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 yes. And keep commenting, because I can't wait to read all the fun things that you are committing to yourself to do. So I'm proud of you. Have a wonderful weekend.